mboti pie mamuye. Ato ati loma ye. We are oh. Ato ati loma ye. Wato man mboti pie mamuye. Ato ati loma ye. We are oh. Sauna timungo we. Kwe brawa tifwa ke timungo gai. Sauna timungo we. Kwe brawa tifwa ke timungo gai. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwa mwateni. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwa ye. Tonya bidi bidi ke inyamunga Ndewe amugbe pati ndejima we. Jiva trouble bra mwambia mwa fila we. Jiva bunde bra mwambia mwa lewe apini mwa uli dogon. Amugili amwe
Tonya mya kebidi bidi mya Milo waji mahante sauna mya manga woma. Election time got to go jack to woma. Take him at my band this shit in my little tinga. They agree good in your way. Yeah, young way. Damn your fake and my wallow hey. That when I'm going up on the young. Yeah, badi mya. Tonya badi mya. Demon DJ nyamunga.
Ato ati loma ye. Wato man mboti pie mamuye. Ato ati loma ye. We are oh. Ato ati loma ye. Wato man mboti pie mamuye. Ato ati loma ye. We are oh. Sauna timungo we. Kwe brawa tifwa ke timungo gai. Sauna timungo we. Kwe brawa tifwa ke timungo gai. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwa mwateni. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwa ye. Tonya bidi bidi ke inyamunga Ndewe amugbe pati ndejima we. Jiva trouble bra mwambia mwa fila we. Jiva bunde bra mwambia mwa lewe apini mwa uli dogon. Amugili amwe yege nyali unkeda kwe amendelwe mbatelo. Sawa kamoti milwe mbatela. Kabale junior wo SBPN. Ubide enjoy kabale junior wo SBPN. Tokwe wotia o amuye. Bele molele adopi. Tiata lele amaledi. Yenya inji ye ilole tiatima. Bokeke de matela itijo. Bidi na this last stand. Ato ati loma ye. Wato man mboti pie mamuye. Ato ati loma ye. We are oh. Ato ati loma ye. Wato man mboti pie mamuye. Ato ati loma ye. We are oh. Sauna timungo we. Kwe brawa tifwa ke timungo gai. Sauna timungo we. Kwe brawa tifwa ke timungo gai. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwa mwateni. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwa ye. Tonya bidi ke inyamunga Ndewe amugbe pati ndejima we. Jiva trouble bra mwambia mwa fila we. Jiva bunde bra mwambia mwa lewe apini mwa uli dogon. Amugili amwe.
And feel not to see them man. Scott with it.
Nyandebo gelu manjima we botam body ezini lo for we fa party jimu keni me wotu omia lobe mwelu mama ai ato ati lo ma ye wato mangoti pie mamu ye ato ati lo ma ye we are oh ato ati lo ma ye wato mangoti pie mamu ye ato ati lo ma ye we are oh sauna timungo we kwe brawa tifwa ke timungo ngai sauna timungo we kwe brawa tifwa ke timungo ngai Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwa mwateni Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwa ye Tonya bidi bidi ke inyamunga Ndewe amube pati ndejima we Jiva trouble bra Mwambia mwafila we Jiva bunde bra Mwambia mwalewe ya pipi Mwauli dogo Amungili amwe
Tonya mnya ke bidi bidi mya Melo jima hante sauna mya manga woma Election time got to go to Boma. Take him at my band, this shit in my little finger. They are really good in young way. Yeah, young way. Young way. Damn, you're thinking in my wallow, hey. That when I'm going up on the young. Yeah, badi, man. Tonya, badi, man. Come on, DJ, Nyamunga.
Ato ati lo ma ye wato mangoti pie mamu ye ato ati lo ma ye we are oh ato ati lo ma ye wato mangoti pie mamu ye ato ati lo ma ye we are oh sauna timungo we kwe brawa tifwa ke timungo ngai sauna timungo we Kwe brawa tifwa ke timungo gai Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwa mwateni Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwa ye Tonya bidi ke inyamunga Ndewe amube pati ndejima we Jiva trouble bra Mwambia mwafila we Jiva bunde bra Mwambia mwalewe ya pipi Mwauli dogo Amungili Amuyege nyali unkeda kwe Amendelwe mbatelo Sawa kamoti milwe mbatela Kabale juni o SFPPNA Ubide enjoy Kabale juni o SFPPNA Tokwe otia o amuye Bele molele adopi Tiata lele amaledi Yenya inji ye ilole tiatima Bokeke de matela itijo Bidi na des last stand Ato ati lo ma ye Wato mangoti pie mamu ye Ato ati lo ma ye We are oh Ato ati lo ma ye Wato mangoti pie mamu ye Ato ati lo ma ye We are oh Sauna timungo we Kwe brawa tifwa ke timungo ngai Sauna timungo we Kwe brawa tifwa ke timungo gai Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwa mwateni Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwa ye Tonya bidi ke inyamunga Ndewe amube pati ndejima we Jiva trouble bra Mwambia mwafila we Jiva bunde bra Mwambia mwalewe ya pipi Mwauli dogo Amungili, amwe.
And feel not to see them, man. God, they with it even like a brothers and sisters. Love and support, we don't show them. All can rally, we don't dance, but God, we they meet up now one big ball. Check body akbala together. We be fit say wake up down, but how we pray the oil for the show now we face. Lights not there, how the picking them for study now. Mama not the work, Papa no get money. One go school, but the system and sorry. Free education, the left and a story. I see 6 now I'm bearing. A woman for lip this life for me no gets money. You not gonna know say we the suffer. Cause top up and feeling how they buy.
Mwali, bima ke umbate panda. Debi nyai ma ale mao. Mwali, bima ke umbate panda. Bilega tale ma fo. Mwali, bima ke umbate panda. Debi nyai ma ale mao. Mwali, bima ke umbate panda. Bilega tale ma fo. Mwali, bima ke umbate panda. Mwali, bima ke umbate panda.
Delay and see dangerous.
Sauna timungo we. Kwebra tifwa ke timungo guys. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwam. Mwateni. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwam ye. Tonya bidi ke inyamunga. De amugbe pati de.
Okay. Fumble them. Una good evening, una good morning, good day, wherever you day. Sorry, we get for start a little bit late today. We've been get some issues now the back end for take care of, and I think say we are fine now to go. We don't come back today. Me and my brother, Mr. Imran Toure. Mr. Toure, there you go put your camera on, so I'll fumble and see you and I tell the ado. We don't come back. We not go tire. We don't take an oath to God and country. So go they talk. And we know they talk politics. Tell fumble the ado, sir.
Wambule minakushe plenty kabo to all. And I want for particularly tell the host, thank you for bringing me back again today. But my brother, my host, I want to tell you, say that theme song, I would love to know who sang it. Now,
honestly, I don't know the singer in name, but I know saying a group where they both tongue and then sing them.
That song is well written. That song hits some notes them where the reality, if now so the northern of them, the southern of them, they behave, think about Salome first, because that's what he's talking about.
Exactly.
He said, Bendimia, ina inyamu be. He said, no, call it out. You border na you border.
Whether I beat him or so Mende or Limba.
But not a way Ibad. Way Ibad, he say you for call them out.
Yes.
He say elections are the only senator that knows say we exist. These SLPP are not like Pakaba Iyon. These SLPP are then they Panam for themselves. He said and just then they married, then they pass with angry, with difficulties. He say, the guys say some things them way. I hope people and they pay attention, because you see, no matter what we talk, it get for land na a soil where they grow. Just like
exactly.
the Jesus put. Exactly. If you put on a rock, it go germinate, or born go see me eat them. If it germinates self, it not go able for penetrating roots them na a rock, it die.
Exactly.
That song there, I go let for you send the link for me.
I go send it to you. I get the song. I go send it to you.
I love the tune. Look the lyrics.
I get the song. That song will be come out, I think, late 2021 or early 2022. Now somebody sent it to me. I listened to him from that, and I said, this, I they keep him. Because even though I don't speak the Mende very well, but I understand it. I understand them. I know the meaning.
He said, me brother, he said, now you brother, not true.
You brother now, you
But
brother,
if he
and
bad,
in
na
all
for talk am.
limit and to mende normal.
Yes, yes.
By the way we sing it say every Sierra Leonean na him brother.
Mm-hmm.
The only
said
thing they put emphasis say, some of them they go preach to them brotherhood when they want to use them for election.
Yes, for elections. Where election done, then dump them like old sus, Olaf back.
Yes.
He say, but if you brother bad, na good thing. If you brother na you brother, I say that is good. He say, but if he bad, na for state.
Now we don't get a good opening with you powerful oratory. That's why I love you, my brother. You are the true great grandson of Samori Toure.
Thank you, sir.
Samori Tarawali Toure.
Thank you, sir.
Samori Toure na sabi talk be make able control Ouagadougou. So now the question is, if this man they complain about the misuse and abuse where the people and they go through from the class of politicians, the question is, why do we have this situation in Sierra Leone? And that question there, I believe say, now we topic for today, go try for answer. The topic for today is fear of failure makes failure. I want to let we repeat and back let people hear. Fear, when you afraid failure, it'll make you fail.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
When you afraid failure, it'll make you fail. Anything you're afraid, now it happen. If you afraid poverty, you they remain poor. Anything you fail, now it happen. Fear of failure, now they make with a fail. And who that they fear failure pass all? The one they wait for administer the country and make the people them benefit from the administration. Why I say so? Let me take this common situation, like me and you. Right now, we're not ordinary people, not so?
Yes.
We can go salon and work on a treat. Nobody will not need bodyguard, nobody not care, not so?
Yep.
The minute they say Imran don't be head of state, once he gets 1,000 thugs them around them. How do you call that? Is that not encouraging fear?
Well, now the easiest way for control people.
No, it's not control.
You
You
know,
see,
I will tell you.
Go ahead,
Why
go ahead.
ask me why I say so?
Why you say so? Go ahead.
You see, when you get power, you did it for the sake of posterity. Then you left your fingerprint. Where people then go say, one man be passed on this road.
Yes.
He left a nice perfume. But if you left a bad perfume, anybody will pass after you go all he knows.
Yeah.
So what I'm talking about here is when you there in position of leadership, the status is fantastic. The benefits that comes with the job, they are beautiful.
I know.
But it comes with responsibilities. They want to enjoy all the trappings of power, but they don't want the sacrifice. They don't want the responsibility. They don't want all the things them were not glamorous. If you then are a host, however you find, for maintain the fineness of the host, you get for clean.
Exactly.
You get for dirty.
You get for clean every day.
Exactly.
You get for go na do for cut grass.
Exactly. So
you get for
what
paint you
then they do before they do the maintenance, that is so love. Create things them where go make you society grow, be healthy. And for do that, not only rich, you can empower. Any civilized society, of which now one of the countries you did so, Scandinavia, now one of the countries you did so, Norway. Now they make it clear, they say a good leader or a good governance, not to how you treat the strong. Now the way where you treat the vulnerable, the minority, the weak.
As a matter of fact, if I can add, yeah, we not get vulnerable people then, yeah. Go ahead. We'll not get to them. I will talk about that later.
So when they don't create, because they don't create an atmosphere where they don't empower the people them. They don't raise the standard of living where, they're able to manage their life. Now that you're supposed to do in leadership, where you get power, the very first thing where you get to think about, now for build wealth for the nation.
Okay.
Build wealth for the nation.
How do you build that wealth?
Every country in the world, including America, China, everywhere else, they borrow for invest. They borrow for eat. Like for instance, if I go take money in a bank, then they ask me for mission statement. Then they ask me for business plan. They want to make sure, say, well, take the money and the invest outside, they go, and there will be growth. But we not salon, we go take the money, we can't pay salaries. They will buy card for we save. Then, like for instance, right now we get over-bloated government. Look like yesterday at the Redefining talk, they don't sack 137 people in the parliament. All money talk, they don't sack 137, they don't sack 137. But the fact is, they not tell we almost people are employed.
But we parliament need 137 workers.
Then sack 137 workers in the parliament.
Yeah, my question is, do we need 137 workers in the parliament?
We don't. But I don't sack 137, but for me...
So almost left there.
Almost left there. That is the question. And I almost be there waiting to be the principal figure.
Yes.
The principal figure. How you go able to build wealth?
You expand the topic, but I don't let it go too far.
Yes.
I will take a step by step. Fear of failure makes failure. When you're afraid for failure, they fail.
They fail, of course.
But how you as leader, and when they say leader, I not limit and no more to political leader. Even in the home, you can be a leader.
That's where it starts, at the home.
Yes, yes. And if you the leader at the home, you're afraid for take correct decisions. We're going to make the home run properly. That home, they disintegrate.
Yep.
In a community, you're not the leader of a community, or you're not one of the leaders of a community, or now get a committee where they run the community.
Well, the word where you use, so let's break it down. Community, communion, coming together.
Together. Yes.
Eating bread together.
Yes.
And if they come together, we not get for collaborate. We not get for cooperate.
Yes.
We not get for engage.
Yes.
We not get for come to a consensus.
But if we not they do that, because all man they afraid say, la no can't talk within make, where then go say, now you been talk this.
Yes.
The society they deteriorate. You see, I fear of failure, the kind side.
That's now one aspect.
Yes.
You can kind of say something, but then give us something for shape. It then you pocket while you not shape. When they give something for shape, you they put on a table where they shape them. But you keep inside your pocket, you they pull and say, Abu, you hold 5 pounds. Momo, you say 5 pounds. But the fact is, just like what we talked earlier, they say they stack 137 people left. But they're not telling we almost be dead in the first place.
Exactly.
They're not telling we, because if we know almost be dead and pull 137, we gonna almost go.
If you get,
ask question, why you get this much people in there?
How much parliamentarians we get? How much members of parliament we get in total?
Well, the last time we be waiting, we get 59 APC, 58 SLPP, 4 NGC, 8 C4C, then 14 paramount chiefs. And that's the total. If we can total that, we're going to know.
If you get a total day, then you get the equal number of employees working with that total. Does that make economic sense?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
And why do we have this situation of overemployment in the government?
Now the same fear where they talk, because when you come, you don't want for work, you bring all you bad people and you give them for them keeping a power. Because you they bribe them. Instead of you make wealth, you create good health care, good education for improve the people and quality of life. Rather, you they select, you syndicate of bad guys where they help you pan the roadshow business for keep you in power.
That's not one. You see, I asked that question they deliberately, you don't start for answer them. And they go now to the most critical national impact with fear of failure by the political class they cause now in country. Before then going to governance, then they make a lot of promises. Not so?
Yes.
But these promises, they're not even, so most of them don't even know how to start for solve them problems, how they say that they can solve. So when he reach now, say he reach, he say, the problem here, then Boko will not get the money. Then fear of failure they set in. How do they solve that problem? But they will support us them. Don't fend how they catch them.
Yeah.
Then begin overload the public service. And I'll tell you for free, most of these people they give jobs produce virtually nothing.
They are the very ones that don't know how to solve the problems that you need to solve.
Just hold on. The fear of the governors in trying to create a sustainable economic system. We're going to allow everybody to get a decent living. And for everybody to get a decent living, it does not necessarily mean everybody forget a job from the government. But if we create a sustainable structure, we're going to make everybody able to get a decent living. Either the person employing himself or he work for a private sector institution. But in we own case, you see, say, even the private sector institutions, most of them not the function. You know why? The local enterprises who them for build up, then they discourage them. They would prefer every time they talk about foreign investors. Can't we invest to ourselves? Why is it that Sierra Leoneans cannot invest in their own country, except foreigners go and invest there? The answer is the politicians are afraid of failure.
That's one.
The fear of failure, and they give the trickle effect. It's a complex thought process.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I want let you see the thought process.
Yes.
You put that man in power, the man able to solve the problems that we promise for solve. Instead, they do haphazard solutions. Take one or two of his supporters, give them jobs here and there within the government service. The party members we don't see recently in certain political parties, the party office don't become their hosts, their base, and everything. Every day, then they carry one bag rest, go give them. They carry money, go give them. Whether they taking your money, whether taking drug, this and that, they keep them there. All of these are manifestations of fear of failure. They don't want to do the right things. We will create a sustainable economy because they don't either know how to do it, or they may not be able to think that if we do it this way, we go get the answer, but it not go be tomorrow. I'll tell you one of the things will make them not they do the right things. And they look, say, I get 5 years for serve. This thing in solution, they come after 10 years. Before that 10 years, people are going to feel the pinch. So that's going to make me unpopular. So love fair halfway method. And you know, sector they are affected by that mostly.
True.
The halfway method solution. Now the educational sector.
Yeah. And
since independence, we have not done anything to change our educational sector for make it suit with developmental needs. Because the politicians now cowards. Now because of cowardice make them all about free education when in fact it is not free.
One other thing where you left behind, where as important, because all the things that we put on the table, my brother, you are spot on. The other thing back when you're a politician, you get for take risks.
You were put there to take risks.
Exactly. They don't want to take risks.
And that's why, sorry, sir, go ahead.
The education system where you talk about, the waiting the with man left. With man not be ever while we better. Then they teach we, follow we say yes, sir, and do as we told. You remember that song? We all go to our classes with clean hands and faces.
Exactly.
To pay greater attention to what we are told.
Exactly. That's a song we sang every morning in the primary school.
The learning system what with man left. Not to follow we think. Now follow we do as we are told. Now be subservient. That means to say, when I say go sweep, you go sweep. You're not proactive within your area of specialism. You are just there as an errand person. Like a doctor in Africa, where you go to them, you see them, take this 3 times a day, 1 morning, 1 something, 1 evening, because that is what they told him to do. But he not able to devise treatment for a condition where he don't treat for 30, 40 years. Because they do research. Now, because the way where they don't teach we, they teach we for memorize, regurgitate. So we are like mimic, we mimic the white man. Instead of we try for establish something was suited to us. Like for instance, quite a lot of people and go school and go university then come out. There not be anything where Afrocentric. Everything is Eurocentric. Even when they talk, if they quote, not Julius Caesar, they're not going to quote things fall apart. If they make proverbs or then they make idioms, it has to be English. It's not going to be a Creole proverb. Exactly.
But I want to come to the point back.
Yes.
Why do you think we still have this system?
You don't answer the question because people don't want to push out of their comfort zone.
And for the government, what is the comfort zone?
The comfort zone, laziness. Because if you want to
no. It ain't beyond laziness.
Yeah, oh, well, good.
I wonder we examine this thing, let people then see why we not change our education we receive from the colonial term to now.
Too much work for them.
One factor we get for recognize na salon. And we go for recognize them in Anglophone Africa. The British never cared about education.
Nope.
Now I made them left arm to private institutions. The missions and other people who been they run education are private institution. The money not been the goody.
Exactly.
Who tell them put money inside and begin put money inside education? was just about 24 years before the Ngiwi independence. Nasalon. Koema school, Tobo
brother,
school.
You are so right. Can you imagine you colonize Boston from 1780 something? You not build no educational institution. 1906, then build the first school. All the schools that were prior to both school, they were all mission schools.
All by private institutions.
By the abolitionists. The abolitionists them. We bring the slaves and come.
Then with other missions, they will come.
Exactly.
So what was created at that time?
Yes.
Was that we are not here to educate you, we are here to exploit.
Yes.
Okay? Then what are the consequence of that? When the private people then can say, all man can with your own style, all man can with your own vision and your ideology.
Yep.
How will they impact your education today?
Today,
you they talk say my school not the best school. And you may want to ask, who is training the teachers teaching in the various schools? Not to the same institution?
Yep.
How can they be different schools? Then you have a policy. You have a curriculum. How can they be different? You see how fear they create problem? The British were afraid.
Mm-hmm.
The British were afraid to educate us.
Mm-hmm.
Because they knew if they did that, we would have gotten wise. We would have asked them out. So they left unto missions where they can teach we Bible, teach we Quran and everything. Then use that for instill fear. You understand?
Yep.
So the fear factor took prominence in our mentality.
Mr.
And 30
Jallo,
days now they use.
Mr. Jallo, you are a blessing when I come across you. You know, saying this, you just remind me of a material where you open the eye to when you make a first SIAM. Something where Dorothy Law Notter wrote.
Children and learn what they live.
Exactly that the British did to us. So we learned, you know, then people had to do bad.
We learned to live in fear.
Yes. It was taught to us. They put that fear, and we self-wake-up, we still not win we self off that fear.
Because they don't train we enough for think out of the box, my brother.
So we self they use the same thing for hold the population under.
So now we don't on the neo-colonialist.
Exactly. So the very whip where the colonial people and take beat we, now the same whip, we young brother and take the beat we back.
So what do we have? Failure.
Can you imagine? We Minister of Information, then call we president for go to ICC. The man they try for tell we, they lie before we, they disrespect we in such a way where it's not even funny. He say in the go, then call her for go ask him and tell her thank you for the development we go now we country. I think not a development. It just started for say, if you tell me for say, I go see gynecologist for let go look at me scrotum. You go ask, say, gynecologist, I mean a urologist, you go see. You know, or you tell somebody say, I go see an orthopedic surgeon for look me eye. You go wonder, optician no dey. You understand? The organization where they go see, they get a specialized role.
Yeah.
The specialized role now 123 countries them get a signatory to. We agree for work with them and agree say the role for they and that role they now for make sure say then deal with issues of genocide,
human rights abuses,
war crimes, human rights abuses, then oppression of citizens. The man say it goes to the ICC, the Center for Development. You get UNDP. You see, why you not go tell we what you go see people for? Now the same fear. It is afraid say
you see, know. You jump this thing. I want to see the trend of mentality. Let we establish the trend of mentality on how fear don't lead we to us how we do. All down the way they talk about so, the minister of whatever I call himself.
Information, yes.
He is a product of fear.
Yep.
And therefore he has to lie for him to look good.
And to keep his job.
Because if you not get fear, now you come back to the word product of fear.
To keep his job. Because
why do you need to keep a job?
Survival.
Why do you think it's only having a job that keeps you surviving?
Because he's afraid, see, if you come out of the job, that's it. His life is over. He cannot think and do other things to survive.
So he's a failure.
He's a failure, totally. Because if not be Norway,
if you think, say, I'm not able to do this job, I go left this job, there is something else for me to do going forward.
Yep. Because if not England or Norway, the minister will resign and say, there is no way I go down this road with anybody. Take your job, walk out. Like, for instance, just in this day, we minister of we defense secretary. He resigned. He's not in cahoots with the rest of the cabinet. He not agree for do what he ask him for do.
What?
Because his reputation, they in the line, he not prepared for.
He is not afraid of failure.
Exactly.
So he will not fail. And one thing we get this fear of failure in Sierra Leone, we don't begin talk about the education.
Mm-hmm.
We education so streamlined to that master servant mentality that when a man on land book he feels he don't reach the highest level, the only thing for him to do is to go and find a job. He will not think about how do I use my education in research? How would I use my education in innovation? Now for go find a job. And how does he get this job? Being friendly with a politician or joining a political party.
They call her libele.
Then you begin Congo say and lie.
For belle fool.
Yes.
Well,
what do you feel say they cause that? Now fear of failure.
Yes.
Fear and what did they cause the fear of failure? Now because the man not gets the constructive mentality for be innovative and of a free conscience.
Thank you, sir. You know, let me tell you this. You get speaking in Norway. Me say get speaking in Naya. You know what I noticed about speaking when they grow up Naya? Anything you tell them, why? Yes. But you know, say Sierra Leonean teachers, Sierra Leonean elders, Sierra Leonean senior people, they're not like ask them why. Go bring water for me. They ask you why.
Yes, you know why?
Who are you to ask me why?
I go answer that.
You told.
I go answer that.
Thank you, sir.
It's all part of the fear of the failure. The people who went to Africa long ago, and it's not only with the Europeans, even with the Arabs, when they started doing business long years, then come with Islam, instead of teaching the people about the true concepts of God, they use Islam for institute fear. Because it's only when you institute fear that you'll be able to control a person. And why do you have to use fear? Now look at them logically. Now, because you, when they use the fear, you are afraid of failure.
You know, for say dictator them, like the biggest coward they defend on
it. They tell you so. They tell you in another way. Anybody who is being dictator and a coward, he is afraid. men are not afraid. So they're not to be dictators. Then they be negotiators.
Yes. And when you negotiate, you teach.
Now give and take.
As much as you learn.
Yes.
Because when you ask somebody why, that don't clearly tell you, say, the person want for understand the rationale.
Exactly.
And the rationale, now you get the concept.
Name. And when the person understand the concept, then you don't need for control them. They do them willingly.
You know,
because they fall in love. They fall in love with what he learn. You understand?
Like with people, and they grab every morning, then sweep the fireside, then take the ashes, then go put on the garden. When you ask them, and I saw see me granny they do, they make the plants define. But in honor the rationale of what they do, wood potash, they give potassium to the plants. And the plants need potassium. It's not able to explain it scientifically. But it they do them anyhow. But the fact is, knowing the rationale go make you know if you don't get too much potassium. Because if you don't know you add potassium, you go just add them. For many potassium be beneficial, it go end up for cause the opposite effect.
Well, it go learn by experience. Because he don't know say I for do this. He go do a 1 10 2 10 1 or 2 plants die. He go observe, say, I've been put too much this ashes yonder. Now I make that plant die. He learn.
That if you that come on a society
will allow you for learn on you.
For learn. But so we then they go bring Ariobo. Now which man they don't do it because you know how for think further.
Well, you have gone far.
You got it.
You don't go far with it. I'll make it very simple. When they go school, you teacher when they teach maths. They can't him up na blackboard, he writes boku, but now one method they use. If you observe, for most of the maths teachers, if you didn't answer their question using the methods where they be used, then they fail you.
Well, I'll give you one story.
Because we on type of bringing up children. And this is one thing very serious. It all comes out of fear. As a father, you're afraid, say, if I not do this, this will go wrong, a lot of consequences. So they use impunity. They put your foot down, they beat the pikin, they this, they that. You understand?
Hey, brother.
So that impunity, they teach the pikin for think one-track minded.
Yeah.
That one-track mind, now they make most Africans not be innovative. That's why we can go up to PhD, we still come back and look for job.
Yes. And you see quite a lot of Africans, they can shout, they can this, they can that. Like when you talk about PhDs and all of that, you know, when you sit down, you look at the real education, it's not the PhD, not the degrees, not all the qualifications. Because then I just the paper. The real qualification, now your behavior, your character.
What you they learn every day.
Now your real qualification.
What you they learn every day out in the world. Now your education.
And if
they shape your behavior.
They don't install that fear they by you. Most of us grew up feeling inferior.
Yes.
We get problems with self-esteem.
Exactly.
We get problems with, you know, you're going to a place, you go forgot him up like you. Somebody can't call you know who I am. It's, you know, it's like you're transparent. And all of a sudden you make your presence, say they caught before Mr. You know that be. So that's make anybody who gets PhD in Sierra Leone, even they're gonna kukri bafa, we don't need for call them back, they don't need for call a doctor. Then they call a doctor. Because the title is playing on people's minds.
It's a protection against certain fear.
Exactly.
People go all over the place proclaiming titles because they want to protect themselves against the fear of lack of confidence.
Yes. I have seen people have called, hey, Mr. Jallo. They say, what do you call me? Mr. Jallo. If you know they call me Dr. Jallo, not call me again. Not ever call me name. Now you must. Most of man they beg for it, they call a doctor in our society. You know,
I'll tell you something. The reverse had happened to me several times. There are some people who, because maybe then they hear me or then they see me, they've attempted to call me Dr. Jallo. I said, do you I beg me not to doctor. I have a PhD. I don't need it, honestly. I don't need it. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't need it.
Yep.
I don't need a title. I need the knowledge.
Well,
I go in search of knowledge.
I am a beneficiary of that knowledge because for me,
I'm not afraid
I don't call you
failure.
doctor, but I have learned so much from you.
Now, what you
are so resourceful, and you so they in knowledge. You they show people them the source of the knowledge. Say go there. You signpost for others. Now, Salomon go to the library, he go cut the page from book, he can't go. That's
willful plagiarism.
Yes, that was the mark when they get in school. Now 100 mark in a class. Una all can get 100. You know, I just want you to see the thinking.
Now they say that the same thing
mark,
they say. I now want to move away from the topic. I want we people then get and clear say 80% and more of the way they behave now because we get certain fear where they harbor. And if only we can take quiet time and look at that fear, we go overcome them. But when you allow the fear to overcome you, you're afraid of failure. And therefore you fail because you are not learning anything new. You are living in the past.
I will give you something. Maybe not too appropriate.
No, go ahead.
But
go ahead. Everything is appropriate. Here.
Do you know one of the tools them where they use in religion for make we afraid for take risk? Now death. Yes, that's supposed to be a necessary end. No, because anybody when you have nasty pain, you pray to God for that you die. I have gone through that. Yeah. I have been through that. I don't get an accident. Where are they tremendous pain? And he prayed for die. You know, now that's when they realized was that death is necessary. But now, Martin Luther said to me, he said, the world where we did, anytime where we want for faith for which we believe, we go get resistance. Evil they resist past anything at this world.
Now I want to add something there. Do I keep you train of thoughts?
Okay.
One thing we'll get for understand is the human race as a living being, not easy for change from what it don't believe in. Whether it's good for the person or not, if you come for tell that person say that belief for the wrong, automatically they meet resistance. You are seen as the enemy.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
You are seen as the enemy. Okay? So this is natural with us. It's one of the fears where they lead we to failure.
Yeah.
Your inability to accommodate new thinking, new ideas, new ways of doing things. And I don't know if you still get your train of thoughts.
Yeah, I still get them.
Go ahead, son.
Martin Luther King look at all these things and I say, we shall overcome. What thing we shall overcome the induce within the environment of struggle? Hope. Hope. It says in this process where we are about to embark, it says some people then go suffer physical death. It says others go be incarcerated. And some then go lost their job. It said, but one thing we will not forever make happen. Now for there we allow we begin them for suffer psychological death. When that happen, we'll not get hope any longer because we not able for go back to them because basically when somebody don't damage psychologically, they are not functional.
No.
It says so. If people get for die, for now we say physical death, people get for go jail, people get for lost their job. Let it be. But whatever it is, let us don't allow our children to suffer psychological death. Do you know how it feels for go sleep in a net? You dey wonder if you go eat in the morning. So God, you know they sleep. And the deprivation of sleep. If you know the way they kill people in Sierra Leone, let me tell you this. People are afraid for come out for go protest. You know almost 1,000 people and they died from malnutrition a year. Google them, right now in Malaysia.
Minus malnutrition. Now we left the food side. Now we look at the emotional side. If you constantly dey under the stress of want, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That alone is enough to kill you.
To kill you. Yeah.
You not get place for sleep. You not get hope for get food. You not get hope for and especially if you're not somebody who get responsibilities. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
You get 2-3 people that way about you. Either you have a family or you have relatives who depend on you. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't reach the stage where you're not able to take care, that is enough to kill you. You know why?
Mm-hmm.
Then they teach people religion say, you get the body, then you get the spirit, not to so.
Mm-hmm.
The man they call and soul, not to so.
Mm-hmm.
And the same religion, where they use for make you fear death, they tell we say, where you go next world, and they go judge you, not to so.
Mm-hmm.
What in they go next world? Not to the spirit,
Yes.
not to the body who came birth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they make the body and the spirit disconnect?
Mm-hmm.
Acute pain. And what is that pain? Do you think pain is only physical? Pain is not only physical. There is spiritual pain. When somebody loses total hope, you're not able, it turns so you not see nothing, it turns so you not see nothing. It's very painful. And that pain is what is killing a lot of people in our country. Mr. Toure.
Hey, brother, you so put them so well, you know. I remember where I be small. You know, Timek, I could have still been a Muslim. Could you just imagine a small boy like me, born Muslim, with a go
you know left Islam, who say you don't go?
Hey, brother, we dey go na maslasi. First and foremost, where we go, me papa na man we very time conscious, very. So we go early, but we the pikin will go, we sit down before. The big man when he call it, tell me, I will not come out. The pikin them not come out. I never liked that, you know. But I come out. In can late, then
they want for grab you.
Let's sit down. Then when I sit down now, the imam in can now. Then they talk life after death before they talk about life on this earth. How we go treat our fellow men. Because this warrior religion, any religion what they deal with, a lot of people they forget say this spiritual thing when they talk about, it's not as important as the main reason why religion therefore. Now relationships, how would they relate with one another and for worship God?
Yeah.
But would they put so much emphasis on the spiritual side? than the
Tell me
relationship.
the afterlife. The afterlife.
Yes. So the man they talk how when they die, this angel, what they call Adikali Mount, or they're there, they come with an armor.
That was the fear. That was the fear message.
You know what? You are. Now they take the lesser option. What are they? The Christian. You know.
Let's step back and tell you the same thing.
The same thing. They say you got judgment today. You got a judgment. So when you look at all that thing they are put together, you know. I
don't want us to go too deep in that because it's people's beliefs. But the question is, let me ask one simple question. As a father or as a parent, will you seek to destroy your siblings?
Which benefit will that be to me?
Yeah.
Which benefit? Because when you look at nature, wild animal, they kill. You're not going to believe this. Where you get an overthrow, like for instance, if you get a, how you call them? Now school and they call lions, school of lions. How do they call them?
Pack?
Yeah, a pack of lions. You get a pack of lions. From time to time, leadership, they change. Then they get power struggle.
Yeah.
The one way they in power, if he lost power, all the picking away left behind, the man when they take power, they kill the all. For establish your own
regime,
you know, in your gene, in your DNA.
Yeah.
Now they flock. And you find out for say, he not come up from that gene pool there. He want for assert ion. But guess what? The female and they resist them. Now that's they make it either succeed or it fail in the leadership.
That's social justice.
Yes. The female want them, then they resist them because the female not they accept, say, you come, you can't kill me, picking. If you know that man, they bother.
Why you for kill him?
Why you for kill him?
Yeah.
So you find out for say the rest of the fact that we don't get that old one in DNA, and they try for hold that bloodline. So why should I kill my brother, me a mortal man, if animal and they do this?
You know why I asked that question there?
Uh-huh.
The use of the fear of death. Now, one of the fears them where they lead way to failure.
Yes, big one.
If
protest, they say,
if religion they preach that, if politics they preach that, if society they preach that, do you expect that society to make progress?
Never.
You see this country where they get one thing where then they teach the Pekin them from kindergarten, because every Pekin for go kindergarten. Then they teach them for explore and take risks. Why? Because they want the Pekin them for learn, for live with nature, not to for be afraid of nature. You understand? And then they tell you, say, the Peking get right for ask any question.
Yep.
You for answer them. If you're not able to answer them, you for find a way for reference and let go find out. As a matter of fact, then get one system now, yeah. I make we been talk about disabled people in society. I tell you, say, yeah, we not get disabled. The system now is such that the picking that we disabled, the one that we normal, they all the day in the same classroom. But you get more than one teacher in the classroom. Every disabled child, because you get different levels of disability or types of disabilities. Physical disability, mental disability, emotional disability, etc., etc. Every disabled child gets a specialized teacher where they take care of them. Whilst the main teacher they teach, you deal with the pikin, you they discuss the same issue with the main teacher they teach. If the pikin want for ask question, he get right for ask question.
Yeah.
And when the pikin they come at the class, the other pikin then they inform them, say, well, they bring so person, he gets so issue. But he is your friend, your brother, your sister. Then they encourage the pikin them for socialize, let them look at themselves as equals. That fear of, oh, this he gets sick, you know, deny. That fear of, oh, me, I get sick, I'm sorry, you know, deny.
I not got you word. You say something where I want to let you repeat. Not to on this platform, where we talk privately about life, which kind of benefit it is for them you live long, you know, productive. And you know, then you get away where you put up. You say, you know, it better for them you live short and fulfilled life than you live all useless life. Because, you know, we saw the trade death to an extent, like for instance, what thing they happen? They say gonna do, yeah, then they kill person. But the person where they kill person, you're not supposed to kill person in the first place. But that's because
it's a business.
Because if they kill, you go mortgage the rest of your life for day in slavery under tyranny, just because you know one for take the chance for go out there and challenge, whether challenge they go bring one of two things.
It's not a challenge. It's not a challenge. You know, I don't want let we take and say, will they go fetch somebody? The very religion them way then teach we, now then preach back equality.
Yes. Justice and equality.
Yes. Then get what in and call the 10 Commandments, not so?
Yes.
When you read the 10 Commandments, what they tell you, to equality?
Equality, yeah.
What
and
you know, let them do to you, not do unto person, not to
other people. Yeah.
Not kill, not thief, not this.
No lie.
No lie. Even to the Arabs, then go one step. They're not charge interest on certain things, trading with them. Because then they look at equality.
And relationships. Yes. Relationships.
So if that person say, but do this for me, then you know do and well. Not all the person in right for ask you.
Yep.
Do you have to take it as a challenge?
Nope.
But how they look at equality? They look at justice. People going out to protest, is that a challenge?
When you look at the word, I not got the word justice. It comes from being just and fairness. Yeah. So, like any side when they talk justice and they put scale, what did the scale signifies?
Balance.
Equilibrium. Balance.
Yes.
You know, so justice is about fairness. The word comes from just, being just. And there is a surah where I become across recently, where God make it clear, the only time where you get the right for resist you parent them and reject their authority. Now, if they try for condone you or encourage you for do something where they against justice. Yeah. If I make it clear to them, say, Papa, I respect you with all love, but I will not do this.
Because, you know why? There's a side about religion that was never explained to us.
Yeah.
But when you read the religious scriptures, they see and they clearly. When God creates mortal man on this earth, I don't know for the other planet too, because the universe is very big, but on this earth, this solar system, with all the planets within the solar system. Now, only on this earth, you get an intelligence really close to God. What do I mean? The human race get the ability for decipher and know what's good from what's not good. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, the religious books that we say God made we after his image and likeness. It ain't the Quran, it ain't the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
It tell we say God make man, the Quran say God make man from clay. They breathed part of in life into Quran, not to so.
Mm-hmm.
And the clay became alive, not to so.
Mm-hmm.
That breath of God, now the image and likeness of God.
Mm-hmm.
And if we respect God, we will respect each other. Because in each of us, there is the image and likeness of God.
Of God.
And therefore, because of that, that wish for make we respect each other, now I make them give we 10 commandments.
Mm-hmm.
Not so?
Yep.
Do this, don't do this. So therefore, even God, now from injustice begin. If God self will be just with each other, who are you, human, to bully others? Who are you to use fear? When you use fear, I know you they create disunity.
Mm-hmm.
You they create hate. You they create divide. Because definitely, when you use fear, you they get for be selective about who that they use the fear on. In the first place, when you initiate the use of fear, you want to achieve your aim, not so?
Yep.
And the only way you go achieve your aim, now forget certain people for come and begin make nice with you, you begin give them carrot, give them special favor. So that way you don't begin divide people.
And the other thing, when one of the most important failures where you go encounter, and the fact that you don't damage the people then psychologically.
And because of that damage there, you don't divide them. That divide there, they make that bond where for build trust amongst the people, they die. And as long as that trust not there, the whole setup is going to fail.
When I know we will work as a team, then productivity go be zero, like I be zero.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So the fear of failure, because I don't there, I don't want to come out there for go back to that normal life. What do they do? You begin divide the people.
Sierra Leone, big man, they accumulate 15 years leave. You know they agree go leave. And the first time you go leave, you know they can't.
Well, and when you accumulate 15 years, what thing they happen? You don't ruin yourself psychologically.
Then where one leader can we not like where one for pull out, they say go leave. Go, you don't cover for 15 years, go for 15 years, leave. Now your career finish.
You know, we have a lot of issues. We have a lot of issues, my brother. We have a lot of issues.
Yep. And most of them, my brother, is self-inflicted.
Because we were brought up in fear.
Mm-hmm.
So they use fear now for fail.
Mm-hmm.
They not teach we for be free, liberal, open-minded, but for respect each other.
Let me tell you something. Where can I? First time I give human belly, we go outside and ask the human, how you do? The human say, I'm pregnant. I say, then you go about you tell people and say you get belly.
Because you never not teach you say for free no
exactly.
Woman get belly.
Because if woman get belly, you go talk, you the friend say, wait, you go born and go back by you. You know? You know, you see you party when they play, when they laugh, when they play football. The next day you go for go call up for I can't play. They say, Abu don't go America yesterday. You know, they tell nobody. because he's afraid safety. Me man, this fear business is serious too.
It's one of the factors that is destroying us.
Yes.
Now I make us say, let we discuss this thing today.
Yes.
You see, the fear of failure, it is across with society. It is in different things the world they do. And it comes out from a single root. The root is people are where they are ahead in the society. Not till now we begin, don't begin long years.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, the fear of failure, now I make people let me enslave them company.
And the adages the way they use, they reflect that.
Yes.
If you am white now for Kobaram, what do you left hand, they do like right hand, no. You know.
But you come back and take it for Commonado.
Take it for Commonado. You know, you see most of man they get cancer. You know, can you imagine when you get cancer? People they know. You get people around you will love you.
Then go advise you what to do.
Exactly. But you get cancer, then you isolate yourself. Me man, not to hell on earth.
The hell.
The hell. Will wait for die.
Not only cancer, not left cancer. A lot of people they die of diseases we're not supposed to kill them. Out of fear.
Because if the friend say if I tell you, you go laugh am. If I tell you, you go tell he walk and go sack him. You know, we so afraid about everything.
But why should somebody be sacked for being sick?
Well, me brother, me grew up in Sierra Leone. I come out from an affluent family, I would consider. More time I get epilepsy. They say it's supposed to get epilepsy. If he pitch, you allow and let judge you. You tell the catch him. You know, the things that what we ignorant about Sierra Leone is humongous. It's huge. Then say if person get them, you for chicklist them, then they make you wake. When the person gets, you know. Oh, wait for understand a devil low lamb. You know for make that form.
All that thing and they now fear when they be introduced at a point in time. It was introduced by a set of people who wanted to keep the society under control. It was introduced by a set of people who were abusing people, lying on them to sell them into slavery. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So that fear factor don't become a culture in we.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And because it's now a culture, it's printed in our DNA. It's like we they think failure when in fact we don't need for fail.
But woman they get belly, not even tell young man. If the friend say if you tell a man the belly well, the man go don't do it in him. So they wait say the belly down 3 months or 4 months before you tell the man. Then if the man can't question now, you see, you don't make a lot of relationships they don't well. Yeah. Because if you get belly, I not go tell you man. But if the friend say if you tell him man, you go tell him mama. And him mama not like you. A lot of things they go on in our society where not supposed to happen. And by now, you know, with the exposures and the kind of education that we don't get, we for review some of the things they are and try for get a little bit of sanity. Because, you know, it's like constantly we they look for we shadow the follow.
Because we have been brought up in fear. You come back to that point where I've been telling you about. Children learn what they live.
Yes.
If they teach you fear when you're small, as an adult, you are going to be afraid. Yes. If they traumatize you when you're small, as an adult, you are going to be a bully. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But all of that, they come out of fear.
Look, why do people... Let me read them for you.
Read them.
If a child lives with it says if a child lives with criticisms, he will learn to condemn. Yes. If a child lives with hostility, he learns to fight. If a child lives with ridicule, he learns to be shy. You remember I will be small? Look that you big nose. Pastor, you benyide. Look what you dirty under. You know? Then if a child lives with shame, he learns to feel guilty. If a child lives with tolerance, he learns to be patient. If a child lives with encouragement, he learns to be confident. If a child lives with praise, he learns to appreciate. If a child lives with fairness, he learns justice. If a child lives with security, he learns to have faith. If a child lives with approval, he learns to like himself. If a child lives with acceptance and friendship, he learns to find love in the world. Isn't that brilliant?
How many of these do we have in Sierra Leone?
None.
I think I have to make a recommendation.
Me papa went for secure me, my lovely dad, may he still rest in peace. The teacher don't want me in school. I can't let me teacher complain out if I be no another one, papa. When me papa go to school. Now I go meet the teacher. Hey, teacher, go talk na corner. Me man, now in the ring assembly bell, all man can congregate. Now in bring decks. Me will only complain. They not ask me. Now in say I can't lead them. Now in call for 4 strong boys for car hold me. Me man, me daddy beat me, then he passed the cane to the teacher. The teacher beat me, man. I cry. The cry was cry. Not so they beat you.
Now the advantage.
The advantage. You know, me man, me bongo. Me bongo done.
You see,
papa.
You come with a practical manifestation on how we they use fear, where they institute failure in we society. So maybe you, because of certain factor here and there, you were able to overcome that. But there are a lot of people who went through that today. They are in politics.
Yes.
And look at them killing people.
And then they inflict that damage upon people.
Yeah, because they are traumatized.
It took me almost the rest of my life. It was almost impossible for me to complain about anything because I'm afraid. Because I don't complain one time, me will go complain. Me man, I got my ass whooped, and the person was supposed to protect me and secure me. Now him connive now with the teacher when I'm outsider for whoop me in front of all my schoolmates, classmates.
And you know the other side where that they do to we, because they may treat we the way than they. It make we lost self-confidence and self-esteem.
Yeah.
And because of loss of self-confidence and self-esteem, there are a lot of us who would have been very good scientists and innovators today with the do kakabela. Sorry for use that French there.
Papa, now true talk you talk so because now one of the reasons I don't make Boko Africans not be maths, ultimately. Will be they cry.
Well, the beats now one. The other thing is
today.
The other thing is,
oh Lord,
we method of teaching. They create fear in the Pekin. Then get what in and call in educational psychology symbol shock. The symbol shock syndrome. When a Pekin afraid of what they can't tell them. Even the simplest concept, they understand them.
Yeah, brother, I don't understand that, brother. Be too assi, not for me.
You turn for hate the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go talk now, but hates the teacher, and the minute you hate the teacher, you don't hate the subject.
Yeah, of course. My brother, you cannot believe it.
All
I
of
have
this,
a phobia. I have a phobia on numbers.
Yes, because of the way you were treated. The
Serious
fear
phobia.
of failure. The fear of failure now make you get a phobia there.
Mm-hmm.
Not so?
Yep.
Most people are hoping for them be innovative scientists them today. Where, because of that, then going to reading about Napoleon Bonaparte and Greek and Roman culture, some of them ended up being failures.
Hey, brother, I know about Boston Tea Party, the American War of Independence, the the 13 American original colony, Napoleon Bonaparte, Louis XVI, the French Revolution.
How much do you know about Baibure?
Yes. Then Martin Luther of Germany. You know, the Renaissance.
I don't ask you a question, you know, answer. How much do you know about Baibure?
Nothing. Now I big.
Now you know something. You know something.
Now I learn from his.
You know something. Then tell you something for make you afraid.
Yeah. They say
Baibure and be rebel, so they capture her.
Yeah, they say if I did a song they make her. They say the only history of Baibure is Baibure was a warrior. He fought against the British. The British made him surrender. Koto Marimu.
That is fear. Then they preach fear to you.
Very, very, very debilitating. Tell you for say, an occupying army can a young country. A can't all you grandpa on stage. A bit and say he apologized. Say Koto Marimu. I beg. You know. And
inside your home. Inside your home. Then we take and bear. The British were powerful.
Then the same way, then do the same thing to the charismatic Muslim cleric, who resisted the British method of treating the people in the Gambia area.
Aidara Fofana.
Aidara. They call them Contophili. Aidara Confucianist. And the man, when you read the text, but the man, the writer, they say a charismatic Arabic scholar.
The man was a Fofana, but nobody knows that name.
Nobody knows. They you know, when they talk about this business of how they call themselves for how they call them for slander, as in a form of politics, when they make propaganda. You know, the propaganda so they into we when you with man inject some power. The man of Fofana, we don't know that Fofana instead the derogatory symbolism when they try for dress them with. Now we know as his son in
Contophili.
What's in a Contophili now? So confusion.
Confusion is even pantimini are the same thing.
Yes.
Contophili.
Contophili. You get both. All what in the man say when they treat the people them bad, when they treat them with dignity, it is not right. It is against the teachings of Islam. People deserve dignity. You're not going to take taxes from people without them knowing why you take the tax. And you not tell them what thing that is.
You they do with the tax money.
Then kill them. When they kill them. Now, one of the things that will make the exodus of Badingo and so people and go in the line.
That now the later party they talk because before then they had gone there.
Yes.
Now that's carry the soiree, the tarawali, the Fofana, then Songo Shidomo Amba, Songo Shidom Puja, and Songo Kenema.
Exactly.
And today they don't picking them say unana for that to them. Then fumble and they come here.
Yes. You know, they say Pakabade and all the family that's where they go. You know, that's where they take go.
You see, with the try for roundup now.
Yeah.
The point about this fear is that we get a long history of people using fear in our society.
Mm-hmm.
And through the centuries, not just now it begin, this fear had been the modus operandi of governance. But we still feel Louis F. say we are a democratic society. I'll challenge, listen, allow me make one. I'll challenge Sierra Leone that there is no democracy in Sierra Leone.
I agree with you.
Because for the Sierra Leonean, they feel having a multi-party governance is democracy. It's not. Democracy is a social mode of living. It's a way of life. It's respect for the rights of others and others respecting your right.
Mm-hmm.
For you to live together as a team. It's not about elections. You manifest your democratic right in an election. But the election itself is not the democracy. The right to choice, your right to use your free will, is expressed when you go to vote. And why do you have to vote? You have to vote because it's not everybody that will be doing everything at the same time. You have to have specific people to undertake certain duties. So you elect them to undertake that duty to manage the affairs of the state on your behalf. That's why they've said, by the people, for the people. And that does not mean elections. You can have democracy even without elections.
Yeah. Let me say this. This fear, yeah, it does so prevalent in our society. In democracy, it don't create another type of virus. And this new virus now, are the fear to lose.
That's it.
We are bad losers. And why would they pray for lose? Because when they pray if they lose, then they can't kill me because of what I don't do. Well, why you feel say matter be so hell-bent? Say by fire, by force,
if
unnecessary force, he go stay in power. He knows what he's been doing.
The fear of failure.
Exactly. So because of that, our people are very bad losers.
And the fear of failure is not only with the political leadership. It's even with us, the people.
With the people as well, yes.
Hey, me. And this thing don't left me. What you go do now?
Mother Biona be paddy. If Mother Bio can come out here, me I finish.
Yes.
Hey. So it don't create a community of people them with that same wishy-washy thinking.
So if even Mother Bio want go, hey, but not left this thing.
Hey, but not left.
If he left,
after you, now you. After you, now you. After you, now you. You know, because he's saying that not because he likes you,
but because he's afraid of failure.
The benefits where they get that you take it in that. So Pajalo, after you, now you. You know?
Now,
you know they think about
after me, there no be nobody. All my
you know, when they talk about, you get to also look at the humor of it. It just, you know, it's just crazy. It's funny.
We have to do a lot of rethinking in Sierra Leone on a very serious note.
The whole of Africa, because this is now a virus where they right
across
Africa.
Yes. And we get to look at how we go look at the wishes of the people, because now then they put people in there. How do we create a society that can be sustainably consuming goods and services? This is the failure that we have in Africa. And it's because of this fear that our politicians are becoming dictators using impunity. They don't know how to create a sustainable society where goods and services will be consumed. Women say there will be constant demand for goods and services. There will be a need for supply, and therefore there will be production in the society. Like in Norway, people are so busy that carpenter, wake up in the morning, they go now in factory, go work. We month they get $5,000 or $10,000. They don't care about who that be prime minister. They will buy what he want for buy.
Whosoever can is still able to do everyday activities.
Yeah.
You know, for we, this fear is so bad that we are even scared to be Africans. You know, say if you want for young woman, now Africa.
No, not the left the yan. Look the woman, all tell they were false here.
Oh, you want for give them compliment? If you go tell and say, baby, you are looking, he said, you are a local beauty. Look at your skin. Oh, you're beautiful, local beauty. And go say, Now me they call local. Now you mama local. Because you don't say local mean indigenous. Because we see everything local as inferior. Because we've been made to feel that way. But you tell her to say, oh baby, you are looking foreign. The man say I look foreign. It is gladdy. And that is the insult. You
That's
looking,
the insult.
you're not supposed to look at.
Because you're not failure.
Exactly.
You are not yourself.
I hear somebody where I get for deal with. Maybe tomorrow morning. He say, what he say, Sierra Leone failed state. But you not tell me what in a failed state. What in the talk pan, he audio now, he say, because then they go bear a rata. Wait, see, then they use that guys here for go bear waiting. Now failed states now say, oh my God. You know, when I say a state fail, a country where no the oh Lord, where the political system and economic system don't fail.
Yes. I would say the
rule of law. Then the rule of law.
social infrastructure for run a country absent.
Yes.
And when you say social infrastructure, now broad something they talk about.
Mm-hmm.
The economy not there for people and for live that basic life. The ability of the people for live together as one and respect each other not there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things. Not to whether they go bury one idiot with pomp and pageantry make them a failed state.
Exactly.
We have idiots all over the world who receive such honors.
No, they don't.
So not that make them a failed state. It's human nature to blow things out of proportion where not necessary. But when you talk about a state being a functional state and a failed state, now the ability of the people for live that basic standard of life.
Yep. When a state, a political or economic system has become so weak that the government is no longer in control, because the rule of law don't so weak.
Everything don't weak.
Yeah, the economy weak. The political will don't weak because you not get authority anymore. But me man, it's so simple. If you're not papa, you never feed you welfare picking then go call the papa.
That failed them.
If they tell the wife say, honey, pass me water, they look you succeed.
Yeah, well.
Because as a father, you're not able to make the woman happy in the next. Then they'll clean back. You're not able to make it happy by providing a basic amenities the way the family for with it. Then they can't get instructions for go do this and that. And they look you by the eye and substitute you. That's a failed home. A failed home can find the same thing as a failed state.
The fear of failure. It's not only with the political class, it's a societal problem in Sierra Leone. And we need for begin look at them things here for see how we go correct them, because we cannot continue as a social group, a civilization, the way they go so.
No, we cannot.
We cannot.
We cannot. It's not sustainable.
And one thing I go agree with. I will say it here because that's my own view. Our solution does not necessarily come from holding elections and changing leadership.
No.
Our solution comes from changing the way we think.
Our minds.
Changing the respect we give to each other.
Yeah.
Building trusts, even with children. Give them their due respect because they are thinking human beings. Women, give them their due respect. Because one of the things we use in a salon, we use fear of sustenance for abuse with women folk. That's the highest level of unethical behavior a society can encourage.
we get for change the definitions of quite a lot of things them way we participate in. Like for instance, then we come back to love. When we talk about love in Africa, we talk about romantic. Am I Roman? No, I'm not from Rome. Everything Rome is Eurocentric. I am African. I am Afrocentric. We have to define love in our own. When you look at the beauty, cheekbone in Africa, they say, look, you face your puss. Segmented neck, that girl get cut neck. Now Europe, they say you get segmented neck. Segmented neck not fine in Europe. So the quality of beauty where we accept in Africa and the one here is different. Yeah. We want woman where plump in Africa. They say, oh, bad there pot. Hey, oh, bad there on Ira, or Chefrok Barang. These are people emphasizing how women should look like in Africa.
That's our perception.
Exactly. So if we really want to succeed, we get to take a step back.
We need to take steps back.
Based on Afrocentrism. Like where woman talk for say, hey, not romantic. And not the chemical restaurants. But where is sick? Now Afrocentric love you want. Because the African man, where you sick, you know, they treat you like how an European man they treat you. An European man they buy flower and card. But the woman will say he wants a romantic man where you buy flower and card for him. Where he padika, no matter lazy man, he can bring flower and card. Because the African culture where you seek now nourishment. You want provision. You want pepper soup. You want Lucozade. So all of a sudden, you know what's the romantic and the Afrocentric love you want. So you find out for say we are confused. We're all over the place. 1 minute, the African woman they ask you say he wants this romantic business, but in many areas, not so that he wants. Now African love he wants. So you know we have.
You see, the point is they have used so much fear on us. The African continent is now the continent with the highest level of trauma.
Yeah.
And most of the trauma don't become printed in with genetics, it's in with DNA. Because we have suffered 4,000 years of abuse.
Yeah.
But most of this abuse come up from we, the people, them. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So if we want to change the dynamics, we let us stop blaming. We may mention what was done, like for example, just now I talk say, the British never cared about education, they left it to the missions. It was private. Since 1961 to now, what have we done?
What have we achieved?
You know why we have not changed it? We are afraid of the expenditure involved.
We don't change them. We don't change them. We don't.
You not change zilt.
Man, we don't change. You know,
nothing not changing in Sierra Leone is getting worse.
My brother, you don't ask me why I say we don't change them.
Why change?
Now we get Rastaman as minister.
Oh, and maybe
education minister.
But so I'll tell you something. As a professional educationist, we're not change zilt in Sierra Leone. No, it's getting worse.
I will just try for be
you know why it's getting worse? You know why it's getting worse? The fear of expending, funding education is still there with governments.
But me man, we only
education is a very expensive thing.
It is.
You get for equip the school. You get for equip the teacher. You get for equip the universities. Do we provide those equipment?
And if we want to teach you, picking them in the language you don't understand better, when are they your home language, your mama language, we get for change all the books them.
Yeah.
We get for develop we own teaching styles and everything. But in the long term, it could be expensive, but it could change everything for we.
And do you know why we look at the expense all the time? Now the fear of failure back.
Yeah.
The politician feels if he tell the people and say, on a pay tax, we provide education, or on a pay school fee, provide education, where election can they not vote for her.
Well, that's the thing. I make somebody
In Norway, in 1958, the government took a bold step. They educate the people and say, the human resource we'll get, now an economic good we need for improvement. So now we spend money for education. Now we pay more taxes so that we will put on for education. The people they agree. And from that time to now, as I talk, education is fee-free. The schools are so equipped that I go tell you, say, the junior secondary, then carpentry workshop wouldn't get now. The equipment where they no carpenter factory in a salon or get them.
Of course. But you know,
and it's not money coming from free education, it's money paid by taxes. Norway pays the highest taxes in Europe.
Well, let me tell you something. This is the reason why when people when they talk about privatization in Africa, and they laugh. I always they laugh. You know why? Mm-hmm. Norway, what they talk about so. Many, many years back, maybe after the war, everything was social, public.
They were so poor.
They did everything public.
Yes,
now,
because they were very poor.
The quality of life, then privatize some of them public system them. By that time,
but even the one where them privatize, I will tell you this for free today because in the private institutions in Norway, then they get subsidies for government because they want to regulate the cost.
Yeah.
If you go to a private hospital in Norway, there is a difference in bill, but not so much. Because the private hospital, they get subsidy from the government, so the private hospital will not go overcharge.
Yeah. So you go try for
private schools get the same access like public schools.
Oh, well, now Sierra Leone now, anybody where you talk to, oh, now for privatize this. We are underdeveloped.
But we don't have the money to privatize. Do we have it?
But to start with, privatize and environment, not they bring the people and quality of life up.
Mister, lag you the realistic figure. Norway spends $19,800 per child every year for equipment. For equip the schools then and all the institutions. Let us imagine Sierra Leone agrees to spend $500 per child every month. Every year, I mean, what is a month? We're in a very much reduced expenditure. We're not going to equip the schools then properly and the institutions. Look at the demographic we have now, the number of children going to school, whether in the school going age, which is above 3 million. Mm-hmm. Take $500 times them by 3 million, almost that you get.
But we don't tell you for say, you know, be numbers. So. No can disgrace me in public.
Can we spend $1.5 billion every year, basic minimum and education? We don't have it.
If we have the will, we can do it.
We don't have it. The government of Sierra Leone's expenditure is about $4 billion. The budget of Sierra Leone.
Well, then they trust for pay salaries and they trust for invest for create wealth.
Because the realistic annual budget of Sierra Leone is $4 billion.
Then you go trust the money for Kanka spend. Then they trust the money for Kanka invest time for build wealth.
Almost the other question is almost money Sierra Leone they trust. Over the last 10 years, almost money don't go into Sierra Leone as international assistance.
The brother, the assistance.
The fact, you know, now point at the try for establish. Mm-hmm. The total amount of foreign assistance where they go to Sierra Leone per annum, I am sure is not over $1.5 billion. What's a total assistance? I mean, NGOs, IMF, European Union, etc., it's not over 1.5 billion. And for a country like Sierra Leone, we need close to $12 billion for run the country efficiently. The fear of failure, and they make politicians and now they take the approach for tell the people,
okay, exactly.
We need for pay tax, let we get these services. And what they instigate that fear of failure is that they are dishonest. They have not gone into politics to make the country, they've gone there to enrich themselves.
If you start with hospital, you build a world-class hospital, you equip the hospital. That hospital, they not only employ doctors, it employ lawyers, accountants, cleaners, nurses.
Low level look at what in they employ.
All them people anyway go employ for make the hospital they work, they improve their quality of life. And in turn, then they pay taxes. That's how you build, and that's how they try to support your argument.
Okay, agreed.
You know? Then they pay taxes. But
Agreed.
if you not go trust for can invest, financing the year so that you go employ people. Me brother, the whole Western Europe, NHS now they employ past all organizations.
And another point where I want to let you get clear. I don't tell you say the whole amount of money they go into Sierra Leone as foreign assistance is not above 1.5 billion, not so?
Yeah.
If you look at other countries, them in Africa, then they get 10 times the amount there. Do you know why? The international community, they afraid we. So now piecemeal and they give we. Even projects where then they approve. Now small projects them.
Yeah, brother, where you get a country, where you get
because they know us. The point I want to make, they know us. They know we are dishonest.
We get civil society like Sano, like Lavali. Then they go take money for can do what they do, then they keep all the money to themselves. Then they work with the government in connivance.
I want to let people then do a survey of international assistance across Africa. Let you see the trend where they happen in Africa. In West Africa, a country like Ghana stand out and they receive far more international assistance than any other country in West Africa.
They do far more for them people than pass what you do.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Their politicians are not full of fear.
Yeah, they do
failure.
far more.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
You take Nigeria. Nigeria may not be receiving comparatively the same quantum of assistance like Ghana because Nigeria almost they build an economic infrastructure. We're going to make the economy kick off. You understand? So they need less assistance.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go to countries like Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, if you see the level of international assistance within they get, they tell you exactly say the political class is not working out of fear. So they've built trust and confidence. We now, because the political class, they work out of fear and it's dishonest. We know they get much internet. They know we, the wetman know we. They know how then they give money.
Now I'll tell you something. I don't ponder on for quite a while.
Mm.
Before the war, what was small way man colonized we then left we before they waiting independence. We have 1.8 million people in Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
Then we done school and waiting, we were barely 3 million people.
Less than 3 million. 2 point
During
something.
the 1991, I'll be about 3 to 4 million. Between that period, 91, say that 10 or 11 years war, a lot of people die, and lots of people that left the country.
Yeah.
Plenty people left the country.
Yeah.
Sierra Leone are the only country where you get exodus of people that we left, and tons of people that died. That's the population come up to 7.5 million. Man, I will challenge you that the NGO then they leave that in the for them go able for year for more money for Canada country for they go in their pocket. That figure.
Well, we may not say go into their pockets. Yeah, some of it they go. That's a fact.
You know.
But the point is, they have to maintain that status quo to get funds.
It's not correct.
It's not correct. Between me and you, if you ask me, my honest view is that we have a population of between 4.5 to 6 million people in Sierra Leone.
Probably say 5.5 million in all these 6. You mean who population?
Because I go tell you for free, say, about 33% of Sierra Leone's population, they live in the western area.
Yes.
I'll tell you that for free. As a geographer.
Me man, it passed 2 million Sierra Leone and already out of Sierra Leone.
Yes.
Yes. Because during that war, plenty left. If you go down to Sierra Leone, if you ask for anybody, if you don't die, it's overseas. Then now, all of a sudden, now population just go.
Well, so then the country in the diaspora will not know. No ask, man.
You know, these are all the questions we need to ask. All the census that
the country will not know.
That's true. People are able to understand. Because when you look at from independence, 1.8 million, say they say that they count so that they go know for development. How come Freetown, the people that will be there at Freetown, they not reach 300,000 or 500,000? Then build Connaught Hospital. Take it in a Connaught Hospital.
How do you expect that small place to service?
Yes, in 1925, then build.
How do you expect that small place to service the people?
Now you get past 2 million people left. That are almost the population of Sierra Leone.
In 1961.
We got 1.8 million.
Yeah.
Where we get independence.
Yeah.
So the Freetown population number alone, it's more than the population of the whole country.
Yeah.
And that's the hospital that we get. Something is not right for our country.
Because we have the fear of failure. The fear of failure is the driving force, my brother. So I think we don't examine this thing. We're not able to do at all. But a clear say, fear the drive we now with society into failure.
Mm-hmm.
Those in governance are afraid of taking the correct decisions. Those who are being governed are afraid of taking the correct decisions. So everybody, they make hypocrite, Congosa and lie.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing works. We go come back, me brother. Now we not hold.
Yeah. You know the thing is, what's making it bad for that we able to focus. Now focus span because we go tangents. Because the thing too plenty.
Plenty.
You know, it's just crazy.
But all come up from the one source, the fear.
Yeah.
The fear of doing things right. The fear of failure takes place when you are afraid to do things right. You don't want to take risks. Because you're afraid, say, if I do this, now so then go say. If I do this, that's so the consequence will be. Everything if we make mistakes, there's always going to be a mistake. If we cannot make mistakes, we cannot make progress.
Mm-hmm.
But we go come back next week for make we can talk with Fambule. We'll not go tired for talk. Some of them here, they talk this casual way, but I am sure those who are listening, then they reason with we. We will create a conversation. The conversation not going to be about who does sabi chemistry or who does sabi physics. Let's talk about what will happen in our country. And we're not talk with malice. We're not talk against anybody or any political institution.
Mm-hmm.
We talk because we believe, say, this factor, now we don't make into a culture where they hold we back. How can we move away from that? How can we move away from the fear of failure? Because even within the political parties, them, you go see them, they grumble, but they are afraid to take the challenge. They are afraid.
Even political parties, now we get opposition. You get the left, you get the right. Now every party.
Within each party now, you get radical groups there.
Yes.
Then they meet the leader and tell us, say, well, party, this thing you want to do, so we not agree.
We not agree.
If they call them to meeting, but what you now? What you don't say we wrong? What you don't do we wrong? They sit down, they negotiate. Yeah. But we don't if I can't tell the power team for do.
Like Naya
fear of failure.
They got the 1925 committee. They are backbenchers, very influential backbenchers.
Yeah.
Now then they dictate what they happen at the party.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything when they happen. Now then that committee, then they, so
it's all checks and balances.
Balances. So
and
the minister and the cabinet minister and another inside.
Those checks and balances exist where there is no fear of failure. You understand?
How you go get government, the committee they all in parliament, the chairman they all in the government bench then they.
What?
How?
So the government in bench now end up.
Exactly. Brother, thanks for inviting me.
Thank you. What's in the last one to the family?
And the same to you, sir.
What's in the last one to family? Let me hear you last one.
Because the family, when I can see a counter point where I just feel down. Because the more you talk, now the more issues then they come up, and the more gloomy things they look. But the thing is, this can be changed.
Yes.
It can be changed.
We have to move
only
away
if
from
there
the
is
fear.
a will. We got people that we got a will. You got people that we got the enthusiasm. We're hungry for do this change. But you go get people that way lethargic. You go get people that way not really interested in doing the change. People that way fearful of change. And the only reason where we could live now this world now for now we change things. Yeah. Because I met God say, go ye forth and procreate. Yeah. The life how they live is not static. I was not like this many years ago. I was a little boy. Yeah. I grew to be what I am. And now that's in biology and they call metamorphosis. Stage by stage
evolution.
Exactly. So you find out for let we go before, we get for allow them processes they have to take place. But you get some people
changes all the time.
All the time. But we get people away, they block the change. Then they block the change. And now when the change will happen, they're so scared of change. And change is the only thing we're constant. Don't clean. Not so that don't cancel. Do they clean back?
Yeah.
Not change.
Not change.
They remain the same. You get it.
From that time we begin talk to now, a lot of things don't change.
Don't change. So we get for allow change for take its course. And we get for change with change. And if we get anybody where they try for stop change, we for change them.
Exactly.
But when Mother be yourself say come, we can do some changes them. When they take power, the first thing when they change, now they change when they say that they can't change.
That's how for do.
Papa, when I thank you, and good night.
Okay, thank you, we people them for listening to we. We go they can't talk the half nonsense we sabi. And we will make sense out of them. Do ya will bake. Because some of we believe say we pass here for left something.
Mm-hmm.
Not to almost money at if keep in a bank make me. Now what your impact the society for do for himself, let society change and improve. Now make me. Because that now one of the purpose where God make me for personal this world. It did not the only books them. When I go read on our only books they did it. Until we say We for come there and take control of the world and be fruitful. They're not also for be destructive. The only thing most people, they interpret that fruitfulness as for born picking. Not only normal. Do something we go change the human condition and make them a better thing. Let we move away from fear. Let we move away from dishonesty, because dishonesty, now fear they bring them. If they put 100 for all man forget 10, give all man your own 10. But if you want say you want to take all the 100, you they fear say, if I not get this, another one not they come. Not also the whole day.
And you get ripple effect.
Yes.
The other man they come after you go say, well, that's what you say they do.
Exactly.
Myself go give other people the 10.
Exactly.
So it will become a culture.
Exactly. So the fear of failure has led us into failure. If we reach the una thank you and una good night.
And before you cut, let's just
Yes,
say
sir.
this. Because every day then they cause we. They say some of we.
Go ahead, sir.
They say some of we didn't here for almost years. We not get nothing. That's why they cause we in Sierra Leone. Some of we not can here for can get a financial wealth. There are different types of wealth. Some man can hire and get them picking and they don't do very well and they don't come out university. Me can hire as an ordinary waiting, I get picking and I win an engineer, win a lawyer, you know, that is wealth. Some man can get physical wealth, but in the process, he not expose himself to mental growth. So how he left Sierra Leone, so he did today.
Some even worse. Some even worse.
Exactly. So this business, people they talk all the time, but then let go we are. They don't go there for almost years. What in they get? We all now one. Will not be the same.
Well, what in and get, what in and not get, it depends on how you understand life. Because
Exactly.
a lot of people think
Exactly.
building a house now in a success.
Nine a success.
Some of us, we have things that we will take to Sierra Leone where we feel say the place right. And I go assure every Sierra Leonean and say, the day I step my foot in Sierra Leone, I don't want nobody in job, but I'm going to create jobs for people.
Exactly. Exactly.
I have the capacity to create jobs for over 1,000 people. But as the society is, I don't trust it.
No, we people only think of physical cash.
The material, the physical now. Let we do the right things first. On a good night, yeah?
Good night, Papa.
Yes, sir.
Yandebo geru manji mawe somebody as in the love for we papa tiji mukeni mi otu mi lobe mwelu mama ato atilo maye wato mangoti pe mamuye ato atilo maye we are oh ato atilo maye wato mangoti pe mamuye ato atilo maye we are oh sauna timungo we Kwe brawa tifwa ke timu gongai Sauna timu ngowe Kwe brawa tifwa ke timu gongai Matiko make agreement ilo mulwang Mwateni Matiko make agreement ilo mulwang ye Tonya Bidi bidi Ke inyamunga Deo De Ndewe, amugbe pati ndejima we Jiva trouble bra, mwambia mwa fila we Jiva bunde bra, mwambia mwa lewe ya pibi Mwa uli dogon Amugili, amwe
Donya mya ke bidi mya Milo waji mahante sauna mya manga woma Election time kat to buja to woma Teke mat ma bande shit in my little tinga Behaviours kagudinya mwe Ngeya nyonga mwe Anya Nyonga mwe Yeah, bedi me. Tonya, bedi me. Kamundi jinya munga.
Ato atiloma ye. Watoma ngoti pie mamuye. Ato atiloma ye. We are oh. Ato atiloma ye. Watoma ngoti pie mamuye. Ato atiloma ye. We are oh. Sauna timungo we. We brawa tifwa ketimugo gai. Sauna timungo we. We brawa tifwa ketimugo gai. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwa mwateni. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwa ye. Tonya bidi ke inyamuga Ndewe amugbe pati ndejima we. Jiva trouble bra mwambia mwa fila we. Jiva bunde bra mwambia mwa lewe apini mwa ulidogo. Amugili amuyege nyali unkeda kwe amendelwe mbatelo. Sawa kamoti milwe mbatela. Kabale junior or SFPPN. Ubi de enjoy Kabale junior or SFPPN. Tokbo wotia o amuye. Bele molele adopi. Tiata lele amaledi. Yenya inji ye ilole tiatima. Bokeke de matela tijo. Bidi na this last stand. Ato atiloma ye. Watoma ngoti pie mamuye. Ato atiloma ye. We are oh. Ato atiloma ye. Watoma ngoti pie mamuye. Ato atiloma ye. We are oh. Sauna timungo we. We brawa tifwa ketimugo gai. Sauna timungo we. We brawa tifwa ketimugo gai. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwa mwateni. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwa ye. Tonya bidi ke inyamuga Ndewe amugbe pati ndejima we. Jiva trouble bra mwambia mwa fila we. Jiva bunde bra mwambia mwa lewe apini mwa ulidogo. Amugili amwe.
And still not to see them, man. God, they we live like a brothers and sisters. Love and support, we don't show them. All can rally, we don't dance, but God, we they meet up now one big ball. Check body akbala together. We be fit say wake up down, but we pray the oil for the show now we face. Lights not there, how the picking them for study now. Mama not at work, Papa no get money. One go school, but the system and sorry. Free education, the left and a story. As you 6 now I'm pairing, a woman for lip this life with me no gets money. You not go no say we dey suffer. Cause stop up and feeling how they buy.
Mwali bima ke umbate panda. Debi nyaima ale mao. Mwali bima ke umbate panda. Bilega tale mafo. Mwali bima ke umbate panda. Debi nyaima ale mao. Mwali bima ke umbate panda. Bilega tale mafo. Mwali bima ke umbate panda. Mwali bima ke umbate panda.
Delay and see dangerous.
Sauna timungo we. We brawa tifwa ketimugo gai. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwa mwateni. Bati koma ke agreement ilo mulwa ye. Tonya bidi ke inyamuga.